Now we're going to look at multiplying when we have a binomial times a binomial. What we're going to do is we're going to take all the terms from the first binomial and distribute them into the second. We can use an acronym to help us remember. It's called FOIL. So basically what it means is first times first, outside times outside, inside times inside, and last times last. Please make sure you do watch all three examples because the third one is the type of problem that everyone always gets wrong or makes mistakes on. The big thing we need to remember is exponents do not distribute in. So when we see a binomial being squared, we have to write it twice. We cannot distribute in. Exponents only distribute in if there's multiplication. So if I'm looking at example 1, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first term from my first exponent and distribute it in. And then I'm going to go ahead and say 3x times x is 3x squared. I can take my outside term and multiply it by my other outside term. 3x times 4 is 12x. I can take my inside term and multiply it by my other inside term and get negative 2x. And I can take my last and my other last, giving me negative 8. So again, that's me using that acronym of FOIL, just a way to remember everything. Combining like terms, I get 3x squared. 12x minus 2x is plus 10x minus 8. Let's go ahead and look at our next example. So again, notice I have a binomial times a binomial. So I can go ahead and use the acronym FOIL to help me make sure that I remember everything. So I'll take the first term of each, multiply those. So x times 2x is 2x squared. So that was my first times my first. Then I'm going to go ahead and do my outside times my outside. So my outermost term times my outermost term. X times 2x is a positive 2x. Oh, that's one I just did. So outside times outside, so let me erase that. Sorry, outside times outside is going to be my outermost times my outermost. So x times 5 is 5x. Inner times inner. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. And then last times last, negative 7 times positive 5 is negative 35. I can combine my middle terms and I get 2x squared minus 9x minus 35. Once I've combined my like terms, I am done. Looking at the final example, number 3. So as I had mentioned before, I can distribute exponents in if I'm multiplying. If adding or subtracting is involved, as it is here, I have to write it twice in FOIL. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is 2x minus 4 times 2x minus 4 using the definition of a square. I'm going to go ahead and use the acronym FOIL. First times first plus outside times outside plus inside times inside plus last times last. So first times first, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Outside times outside, the very outside times the very outside. 2x times minus 5 is minus 10x. Inside times inside, minus 4 times positive 2 is minus 8x. And last times last. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20, giving me 4x squared. Combining like terms, minus 18x plus 20. I'm already in standard form. I've combined my like terms, so I'm done. As a little FYI, there is a formula that helps when you have something in the form a minus b squared. This is not a formula you have to memorize. If you choose to, it can make foiling faster when you're in this form. A minus b squared is always going to be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. A plus b squared is always going to be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. I get those formulas by writing these twice and foiling them each out. Like I said, not formulas you have to memorize, but I like to add them on there because they are a shortcut if you do choose to memorize them. As you work your way through the math curriculum, eventually you will be asked to memorize these, but for now it's not a necessity. But just real quick summarizing, binomial times binomial, we use FOIL. Really all we're doing when we use FOIL is making sure that every term from the first binomial gets distributed to every single term in the second binomial. If you have any questions on this, or if the FOIL seems confusing, please let me know, because there is a way to do it without the FOIL, and I can show you that in class.